Chapter 17, IPO Madness. WeWork employees were ecstatic. Finally, the company was going public. With stock options in hand, many believed this was their moment to cash out and get rich. Optimism was high. After all, WeWork's valuation had only climbed, and everyone assumed they were on the right track. If Uber, despite its billions in losses, could pull off an IPO, surely WeWork could too. But Uber's IPO turned into one of the worst opening days in history. For Masa Son and SoftBank, it was a disaster, proof that public markets weren't tolerating fast-growing, cash-burning companies anymore. Worse, Masa had also heavily invested in Uber. Another IPO failure with WeWork wasn't an option. Adam Neumann, however, saw things differently. He blamed Uber's failure on their attempt to cut costs pre-IPO, slowing growth to appear more financially responsible. Adam believed that was the mistake. So, instead of pulling back, WeWork doubled down. They ramped up expansion, signing leases faster than ever and hiring 100 new employees per week, all to impress potential investors with their aggressive growth. Adam frequently compared WeWork to Amazon, once unprofitable but eventually dominant. Yet, the comparison didn't hold. Amazon's losses were strategic, funding systems that fueled future profits. WeWork's $2 billion loss in 2018, however, showed no clear path to profitability. Still, the IPO was officially on. Banks lined up, eager for a payday. Adam kept them competing until the last moment. Goldman Sachs even pitched a $1 trillion valuation, comparing WeWork's growth to Facebook, conveniently skipping the fact that Facebook was profitable. Some bankers tried to temper expectations, but Adam dismissed them, saying they didn't understand WeWork. Private investors could buy into a story, but public markets demanded transparency, starting with the S-1 filing. WeWork named their S-1 process Project Wingspan. The first hurdle? Adam refused to define WeWork as a real estate company, but no one could explain what it was instead. Adam also wanted to increase his voting power from 10 to 20 votes per share, ensuring absolute control, a move bankers warned against. Then came a bizarre clause: if Adam ever left, his wife Rebecca would choose his successor. Don't worry, Adam told everyone, Rebecca's right 99% of the time. Rebecca became deeply involved in the S-1. She demanded a dedication page that read, "We dedicate this to the energy of we greater than any one of US, but inside each of US." Everyone begged her to remove it. It made the document sound like a spiritual manifesto rather than a financial report, but she refused. Rebecca obsessed over the aesthetics too, turning the S-1 into a design project. She hired a Vogue photographer and approved every photo herself. Hundreds of thousands were spent making the S-1 beautiful, ironically, to prove WeWork was financially responsible. At one point, Rebecca complained the document had too many numbers and facts. "We've got to tell the story of we," she insisted. She demanded it be printed on recycled paper, but later complained about the texture, delaying the process further. Rebecca even told employees the IPO wasn't about money but about saving the planet. The S-1's mission boldly claimed, "Our mission is to elevate the world's consciousness." But the real nightmare was the financials. Adam had long insisted WeWork was profitable, saying, "I'm bored of businesses that don't turn a profit." But now, the truth had to come out. The standard metric EBITDA made it clear WeWork was bleeding money. So, they invented their own term, community Adjusted EBITDA. By removing expenses like marketing, design, and admin, costs unlikely to disappear, they transformed a $933 million loss in 2017 into a $233 million profit on paper. One economics reporter summed it up: "It's just earnings without all the bad stuff." The SEC pushed back hard, especially on the bogus financial metrics and the unnecessary photos. After countless rewrites, Community Adjusted EBITDA was renamed Contribution Margin, but the damage was done. Eventually, the S-1 was released. But no one at WeWork was prepared for what came next. Chapter 18, The IPO Backlash. When WeWork finally released its S-1 filing, the backlash was swift and brutal. The document exposed countless issues buried beneath the company's glossy image. The biggest concern? Adam Neumann's self-dealing. He personally owned buildings that WeWork was leasing, earning $20 million already, with hundreds of millions more expected. Even worse, Adam had trademarked the word "we" and sold those rights to WeWork for $5.9 million. He later claimed he'd donate the money to charity, but the damage was done. It looked like he was cashing in on his own company at every turn. The S1 also revealed just how bad the financials were. WeWork was losing around $3,000 every minute. And while words like community showed up 150 times and Adam 169 times, the phrase office space was mentioned only 9 times, proving once again that the focus was more on vision than reality. For many, this was the first time they'd seen WeWork's real numbers. Unlike private investors who'd been charmed by Adam's grand pitches, the public couldn't ignore the brutal truth. WeWork was simply a real estate company burning billions, not the tech giant it claimed to be. Investors and the media tore the company apart. Analysts mocked the valuation, landlords got nervous, and employees felt betrayed after learning Adam had quietly cashed out more than any other startup CEO in history, close to $1 billion through loans and stock sales. Meanwhile, employees couldn't sell a thing. Adam had also structured the company so top executives, including himself, paid lower taxes than the rest of the staff. It was clear, there were different rules for Adam. Amid all this, Adam pledged to donate $1 billion to charity. But if he didn't follow through, the penalty was his voting power dropping from 20 votes per share to 10, a laughable consequence. Rebecca was stunned by the backlash, genuinely wondering why the press hated them. "We're just trying to help the world," she reportedly said. But to everyone else, it looked like pure greed disguised as idealism. Even the roadshow meant to sell the IPO was a disaster. Adam, usually charismatic, rambled and fumbled. Rumors swirled he might have been high. Then reports surfaced of Adam smoking weed on a private jet to Israel. Instead of a visionary CEO, he looked reckless and out of control. The market, once obsessed with fast-growing but unprofitable companies, had lost patience. Reality set in. WeWork wasn't the next Amazon, it was a collapsing real estate gamble. Renowned entrepreneur Scott Galloway summed it up best: any analyst who says it's worth over $10 billion is lying, stupid, or both. The IPO valuation estimates plummeted from $47 billion to $25 billion, then $20 billion, then $15 billion.